What's going on, everybody? Well, oh Jesus! Well, that's not what we wanted. That's not what we wanted. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Grind, a daily show that we do Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as low as $5. Yeah, I just got that working again. So, yeah, straight to the rabbit hole. Yeah, no, didn't mean to go straight to the rabbit hole. I literally just fixed it this morning so we can, like...
Oh, where I land, I do not know. But here I fall down the rabbit's hole.
But we're not going down the rabbit hole yet. Well, maybe we are. Who knows? We never know. What's going on, chat? Let me see who's all here. We've got... Good morning, Altern. Good morning, Travis. Good morning, Ashraf. Big Mo, Brain Eclipse, Jesse Mack, Just Enough, Roadkill, Sarge. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Anybody else that comes in? Good morning. Hope everyone had a fantastic evening / day. On today's show, we're going to be talking about, let's see, we've got the next Xbox may drop the disk drive, but players seem ready for disk to digital. We're going to be talking about the top 20 Xbox player voice trending feedback items you voted for so far, and Game Pass Family Plan, backwards compatibility, and yes, Xbox exclusives and more. We're also going to talk about brand new Dungeons and Dragons game from Star Wars Vet, canceled. And then we're also going to talk about Google unveils an AI-driven search change that threatens the future of digital journalism. Oh, no. If you guys like what we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. The volume's a little low on the, let me see if I can fix that. Let's see. Rabbit hole. The volume's all the way up. For it, so I can't adjust it anymore. Let me see if I can actually do it in that speed. No, there's no volume, so I would have to probably go back and like maybe change it. Oh, actually, you know what I could do? Hold on a second. Let's see. Yeah, no, can't adjust the volume. I thought maybe I could go inside the actual program. But no, can't do it. So it is what it is. What's going on, Kraken? I'll have to go back and try to like raise it up. What's going on, chat? Everything's happening. I don't know what's happened to my camera. My camera seems like it's not white balanced. There it is. There we go. That's my actual skin color. All right, let's start off with the top story, which is what the thumbnail is. The thumbnail is talking about the things that you're voted for, right? The family plan is coming out, or maybe not coming out. It's voted on, I should say. So the top 20 Xbox player voice trending feedback items you voted for so far. Now, if you guys saw the first poll that Asha Sharma put out, because the plan's the plan until it's not the plan. And this plan is to change what Xbox is. So much so that Jez here still hasn't fixed it because Xbox is supposed to be all capitals now, like you're screaming. You can no longer say Xbox. You have to say Xbox. You gotta scream it because it's capital X, capital B, capital O, capital X. Okay? The trending feedback items you voted for so far: Game Pass Family Plan, backwards compatibility, and yes, Xbox exclusives and more. So Xbox is taking your feedback through its new player voice portal, and here's what actively trending as of right now. Like everything, see, you got to scream it. You got to scream Xbox because it's yelling at you. The Xbox player voices website is here, reviving the tradition. We won't do that anymore, chat. We won't do that anymore. A tradition that's also seen from Xbox is quite some time. This isn't the first time Xbox. He's got to go back and change all of these Xboxes in his article. He's got to go back and change it. Every single one is wrong. The wrong spelling of Xbox or the wrong capitalization. Okay. It says the first Xbox has had features like this, the Xbox user voice platform, and many moons ago, actively soliciting feedback from the fans was also used to target specific games for Xbox backwards compatibility. The team prioritized the work, both technical and legal, based on what games were also being requested the most, and we didn't get all of them. But the vast majority were eventually delivered, and Xbox thus has some of the best console-oriented backwards compatibility on the market. Now, Xbox stopped taking feedback from us, or from the users, wholesale a few years ago. And this is the environment that they ended up with, losing Xbox exclusive games. And we also got absurd Xbox Game Pass 50% price hikes amidst other annoyances of 2026, and turning out to be a different beast so far. Now, the new savior, CEO Asha Sharma, is prioritizing Xbox user feedback more than ever as part of a wider Microsoft push to revise the consumer-oriented business. Now, Windows also has its K2 initiative soliciting feedback in similar way. As Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella woke up at some point last year and realized that half of his business had fallen into despair. Okay, better late than never. What I don't understand about this whole thing, it's like, what's going on first? What's going on, Kylo? Good morning, Water. What I don't understand about all of this is, like, Asha is not doing anything drastic. She's doing, like, and there's nothing against her, right? It's like someone coming into your house, like you moved your couch to the front door, right? So, like, when you come in the house, you have to, like, climb over the couch. Someone new comes in your house and is like, hey, what about if you move that couch away from the door? And you're like, that's fucking genius. Why didn't I think of that? We thought the blocking the door with the couch was the smart move. And they're like, I'm so glad I invited you over. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have seen the couch in front of the door, right? Like, that's what it feels like. She's like, what about if we put back what you already had, the feedback? What about if you already made the Xbox logo what it was before? What if you put this back down to the price it was almost, right? It's like, and everyone's like, she's amazing. She's amazing. It's like, I don't understand. Like, all the changes that she's making was there. They're there. They were there the entire time, but somewhere along the line, they changed it, and everyone nodded their head and said, yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. In any case, it says it's positive shift regardless, but how realistic is some of the fan feedback? Let's examine it together. Let's do it together, shall we? It says we dive into the biggest trending feedback items ranked by order of votes, as well as some of the comments and how realistic and unrealistic they may be in actual to implement. Okay. Number 20, remove ads from the home screen. Seems pretty reasonable, right? I bought your $700, $800, $900 plastic box. I shouldn't have to get ads on there. Like, just take them off, right? Maybe if you hand me a box and it's free, then you put all the ads that you want on it, right? It says we appreciate the sentiment here, but it's also kind of personal. Don't see it as a big deal. Well, of course you don't think of it as a big deal, but it actually is, because I don't want to be advertised to. Right? It says I'm in and out of the dashboard in seconds, so I don't even really notice it if it really has ads. Furthermore, I often actually appreciate the ads that are there, because at least in Europe, they're usually for Xbox games and Xbox news, rarely external stuff. There's other places that when I turn my Xbox on, or my PlayStation, or my Nintendo, or my PC, I just want to play the game. I don't want to be advertised to. It says, I know in the United States, the ads could be a bit different, though. And see a McDonald's ad recently from the U.S. dashboard, which is also pretty sure we don't get here. The big problem with the Xbox hardware is the lack of raw margins. In fact, given the memory out, by right now, wouldn't be surprised if Xbox hardware is actually a negative margin for the current year. Having ads help Microsoft keep hardware businesses at least vaguely viable, particularly in the universe where we also more and more games that ever been playing titles like Fortnite, Roblox for free, and not actually spending the penny. Look, I didn't ask for free games. I don't know if you guys asked for free games. They're the ones that wanted to put free games on the thing and make money by charging microtransactions and stuff. They're the ones that started chasing the trend that people started to do because they were following suit instead of, charging stuff, right? They did it. Isn't it funny how most free-to-play games are better made than actual games that are launching that are full price? Isn't that amazing? right? There are games that are free to play they're complete, they're better graphics, better gameplay, better story, and you're like, how is this possible that a free to play game has got more effort into it than an actual paid game that you paid $70, $80, $90, $100 if they want you to, right? It makes no sense. Number 19, add music to the home screen. This is a cool idea, particularly if you're integrated YouTube Music or Spotify. Microsoft already has YouTube and Spotify on the box, complete with background audio support. So having the Xbox default to ambient Spotify playlist on your home screen or with dynamic background could be a cool feature. Yeah, I see this. Why not? Why not? Why can't I listen to music from the home screen? Make it happen. Make it happen. Number 18, 100% achievement awards like PlayStation Platinum trophies. I don't really give a shit about this. Honestly, majority of the people don't even get past the tutorial to get one achievement. You're like 6.42% press the start menu. And you're like, how's that possible? Don't you have to press the start menu to like play the game? And for miraculous reasons, you're like, how did they not get past this point? It's like they booted it up and said, I just don't feel like playing this anymore. And they paid for it, by the way. They paid for it, and then they didn't play it. It's amazing, right? But I get it. You want an achievement like a platinum trophy? Cool. Okay. It says Xbox has been locking new features of Xbox achievement at the decent clip lately. You can get now special icons on your profile for certain gamer score milestones, but what people really want is competition trophies. Okay. Or I'm sorry, completion, not competition. Completion trophies. The industry will fully complete a game and all the achievements in exchange for a special compilation award. Chat, why do we need, like, you completed it, right? You completed it. If someone wanted to see if they completed it, like you're on my friends list, they'd be like, I have these achievements. I have 100% and you have 100% and we're like, okay, they did all the achievements. Like we see that visually. Why do I need another good boy? You played the game. You finished the game. Like why do I need that? Why do you need that? Please let me know in chat. Why do you need that extra, right? The extra completion. Even though you completed the game, you need something to tell you that you completed the game so everybody else knows you completed the game. Let me know. Number 17, Legacy Xbox Achievement. Indeed, a lot of feedback items, the top trending list of achievements related. One user asks, Microsoft has implemented achievement of OG Xbox games. The technical reason why this might be impossible for many is that all of your OG Xbox games, the source code is inaccessible. Licensing issues, frame rate incompatibility, and so on. But it's a nice idea. Yeah, this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen, right? Just let it go. Like, you don't need to know what you did for the other past games. Just know that you played it and you enjoyed it. I don't think this is even necessary to have someone work on it. Number 16, the official support for Ukraine. Despite Microsoft's heavy investment in Ukrainian cloud infrastructure and military resilience against the evil Russian regime, Xbox actually has no official presence in the country. Microsoft have been investing in Ukrainian games like Metro and Stalker, as it's also been contributing to defending Ukraine's tech from Russian aggression. There's also obviously some difficult circumstances with regards in delivering the full Xbox ecosystem in the country right now. Technologically and financially, Russia is actively attacking Ukraine. Yeah, let's not get involved. Not me personally. What I'm saying is the company shouldn't be like, you know what, let's get in Ukraine right now. Be like, why don't we just wait it out, let them deal with this stuff before we go in there instead of trying to infiltrate Ukraine because you got to have the Xbox achievement list in there. Okay. I don't know about that one. I understand people are voting on it, but it just seems like, I don't think if it like World War II was happening, like we really got to put it in Germany right now. Number 15, stream games to YouTube. Okay. Microsoft has Twitch integration, but more and more people are streaming games to other platforms, including YouTube and TikTok. It might require Google to play nice with Xbox to actually implement, though. As we know, Google hates Xbox with a passion. As much, I doubt it will let you see it get implemented anytime soon. Google is an anti-competitive company. I would rather see the Xbox ecosystem die out of actually supporting features like this. I have a question. Can I stream directly from Xbox? Is it only going to Twitch? It doesn't go to YouTube. I thought I could just stream from the Xbox. See, the last time I did it, I think I was on Twitch. So there is no integration whatsoever. Yeah, Google doesn't like Microsoft. Would it be cool? Sure, but for $60, $100, you go pick up a little card and play it, right, and plug it into your computer. I guess you have to buy a computer. I get it. All right, I'll agree with this one. I think they should allow it on YouTube if you want to do straight streaming to YouTube. But I think there are other ways around it. Plus, there's other platforms, right? If you can't go to YouTube, go to Rumble. If you can't go to Rumble, go to Locals. If you can't go to Locals, go to Twitch. If you can't go to Twitch, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many different platforms now. I totally get why you want to go to YouTube. But at the same time, you can stream to X. I think you can stream to X, can't you? Or do you need a computer for that as well? Chat, let me know. I'm not really too sure. What's going on, Sweat? Because I haven't streamed from my Xbox in a really long time. I just stream directly to my computer. All right. Number 14, add voice chat clip recording. Here's what Xbox could implement, though. Even if often wanted to clip funny happenings with the friends and have experience, but right now you can only really do that with PC. It would be great if you could also record your mic and party chat. This one I'm for. This one I'm for, okay? Because this one, it aggravates me because you have to ask permission, right? So I think if you invite people to a party, it should automatically like record, but it doesn't sometimes, right? Or in a party it records, but if you're in the game, it doesn't capture the game audio because you have to ask permission for the people, right? So I get why they do it. It's for your protection. But there should be something that pops up, like if I'm streaming on YouTube, right? If there was integration and it says, "Hey, this person is streaming. Do you want to access your capability of recording your voice?" Now, there's a lot of stuff that happens there because some people are trolls that will just start cursing or saying something because they know they're on your recording, so they'll say stuff just to say stuff, right? This is why I'm okay with the actual party chat. And if I invite you in the party, obviously you're being recorded, right? So it should at least notify people because you could just join someone's party and you don't know you're being recorded. But if you are streaming, it should say, "Hey, are you streaming?" And if you start a party, even though I'm not using the integrated thing for YouTube, it should say, "Hey, this person that you're invited to a party might be streaming or they are streaming," right? So maybe if I start a party, it says, "Are you a streamer?" You say yes. And then it lets people know when they join your party that their voice could be recorded, stuff like that. That would be interesting. Okay. 13, boost FPS boost. The 13 top trending pieces of feedback pertain to FPS boost, which haven't really seen much of recently. The FPS boost was implemented in games like Wasteland 3, Metroid 2033, and Fallout 3, giving some 30 frames per second back compatibility games a platform injected coat of new paint. Or go faster stripes, I guess. It says Microsoft's implemented FPS boost on a few games now, but the feature is also well by a wayside. I presume that Xbox Helix will have some sort of AI-powered frame generation, probably. Okay, make it easier to implement at any platform level, and also be cool to see if the OG games get a modern frame rates. I don't think this is necessary for older games. Obviously, I would like my newer games to hit the 60 frames per second and whatnot. But I don't think you have to go backwards for like what they're doing for Wasteland 3 and Metroid. Is it nice? Sure. If you're going to charge me more money and it doesn't do the frame rate, even though it's fake frame rate, that's a little dickish move. But all games moving forward should have the 60 frames. Again, you guys know where I stand. I don't really care about remasters and upgrades like this. Like, just we're still waiting for 60 frames per second for other games in the past, and I don't really think this is a necessary thing for older games playing on your newer system. But if newer games need to be at 60 frames per second. 12, lower the price of Xbox hardware. Well, why is this 12? This is the top 12. Why isn't this number 1? And wait a minute. If you're already voting on this, why is this 1 at all? Hey, think about this for a second, chat. The people that are voting on this already have hardware. So why would they want the hardware to be cheaper? They already have it. Are they buying a second unit? I'm very confused by this. Lower the price of Xbox hardware. Okay. Here's one that definitely don't see happening in the short term. The price of memory is huge. Global problem right now. Every manufacturer is using memory to see the price battering margins and also making components hard to even acquire. Xbox hardware isn't down due to the decrease of demand alone. It's down because they're not being purchasing stock because the stock is too expensive if they can even get the memory in the first place. Now, memory prices are supposed to be stabilizing around 2028, but who knows? One of the reasons they also might be increase the supply chain cost by then. I wouldn't expect to see Xbox hardware get a price cut at any time soon, sadly. Yeah, but I don't understand how this is an actual thing. Mo says because the hardcore, not the normies. Yeah, but you already own hardware. So you're saying that the people that the small percentage of people that already own an Xbox want the Xbox to go down in price. That doesn't make sense. Krebsy says, not to be that guy, but I'm pretty sure majority of the world don't care where Xbox lands as long as they're in the country. Don't see people asking for Xbox in the Philippines or Vietnam. What's going on, Rowick? Not at all? Okay. I'm a little confused because the poll is being taken by feedback of people that own an Xbox. So the people that own an Xbox want to buy another Xbox. I get it, maybe for their kids or whatnot. It just seems like a weird one. And okay, let's just say the hardcore people, why isn't it higher on the list? Astra says global problem, market conditions. I don't care if they need people to game on their platform. I need price other products aggressively. Trezor says they want to go down so they can sucker convince more people to buy it. Yeah, but let's be honest. I don't. Obviously, the prices are too high. But to vote, this whole voting thing, because it seems like they're taking feedback. A lot of these people are voting. Do you have to have an Xbox to vote? That's the question. Do you have to have an Xbox to vote, or is it just a voting process that you can go to the app? That would be the key thing here, because if you can only vote from the Xbox itself, it doesn't make sense for have this on the chart. But if you could vote without owning an Xbox, then that makes much more sense. Just Enough says maybe they want to lower the price so more people can buy Xboxes. Are you voting for that? Are you stop. We all know this is a thing where if your neighbor house is burning or there's a murderer outside the window, okay, you just close the blinds because you don't care. You're telling me now that people are like, you know what? We need to lower the price so we can get more people onto the Xbox. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. I guarantee you that if you could vote off of the actual console itself, people on Twitter and other people are voting for this because they want the prices lower. No one that owns an Xbox is like, yeah, you know what? We should lower the price so we can get more people to, you don't care. And don't pretend you care. Jesse Max says 30 because they want to use more cheaper hardware in case of they don't blow their budget. The hardcore people that Mo is bringing up are the same people that would buy a $2,000 computer. Are the same people that are keeping up with the Joneses. That'll buy the latest, greatest thing no matter what the price is. Those are the hardcores. You just need a Microsoft account. That makes sense then. This makes sense. I thought it was people that already owned an Xbox. Just Enough says Series S users are voting because they can't afford the X. Mr. Z says, knowing that most polls, it's a list or a list of questions they give, 1 to 10, etc. Asher says, but I do care. You care that you own a box and you want other people to afford the box, or you care because you want to buy a box? There's a difference. Mo says 200 for a Series S, 350, 400 for the Series X. It makes sense because Xbox fans flip-flop on everything. I mean, just look at the last 5 years. Now that I know it's people that just have a Microsoft account, it makes much more sense why that's on the list. If it's people that own an Xbox, it makes no sense. 11. Waterbear says, I care. No, I don't. 11, expand Xbox Play Anywhere to older games. I can get behind this. I like this. The more games they add to Play Anywhere type of thing. Here's one I'd also love to see implemented more. Some classic games recently grabbed Xbox Play Anywhere, including Resident Evil Village, Kingdom Come Deliverance, but exceedingly painfully rare that the games get a retroactive Xbox Play Anywhere support. My biggest limitation, Xbox Ally doesn't get access to 99% of the console library right now. No Dark Souls, no Elden Ring, no classic games of any stripe. Only a few Xbox PC games. Microsoft does a deal with the Xbox Game Pass. Organic uptake of Xbox PC, Xbox Play Anywhere, absolutely miserable, and it needs to change somehow. See, I don't think this is I get that what Jez is saying. I don't think it's miserable because I think it's we didn't have it, and now we do. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's another thing I could think of? Like, before you had to stop at a toll plaza, rummage through change, and then, like, throw it in the change thing. Now you can just drive through because you have a little, responder in your car. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nice. It's convenient. Could it be better? Yeah, because sometimes you have to slow down to, like, 25 miles an hour, but then they made it better. You can go by through, like, 80 miles an hour now. You just fly through the toll plaza, right? This is, like, one of those things where I'm not dissatisfied with the games that you can play. Is it bad that there's not a lot of games? Sure, but it's better than it was before. We didn't have it before. Now we do. So I don't really think it's a bad thing. We're at the beginning of this. Down the road, I shouldn't say everything. A lot of things will be more Play Anywhere, right? They've already started doing that with the newer games coming out. Number 10, change playtime from days to hours. I'm surprised how popular this piece of feedback was since they've never really considered it a huge deal. But if you go to your stats page on your Xbox guide, for any game, it shows the playtime in days, hours, and minutes. It's not hard to calculate the days into hours, but I suppose obvious play... Wait a minute. This is an actual thing? Do people not know that there's 24 hours in a day? This is retarded. I'm sorry. If you don't know how to break down a day of 24 hours, and they're like, I just don't know how many hours I've played. How many hours did I play in a day? Uh-oh, it's got complicated now. Now it's 2 days. I think we have a bigger problem on our hands, chat. There's a lot of people in the world that don't know how many hours are in a day. And another thing is they don't know how to divide how many hours and then multiply how many days times 24 are in the actual fucking day. Like, holy Christ. That's a bigger problem. This is an idiotic one that they want playtime days to hours. It's already there. Thank you, Mo. Yeah, retarded as fuck. Right? This is so stupid. Ashraf says, I like to disagree. Ashraf, do you not know how many hours are in a day? Come on. Do you know how many hours are in a day? Right, exactly, Krebsy. Okay, change it to hours. Now people struggle to convert it into days. That's right. They'll be like, wait a minute, I have 1,700 hours. How many days is that? Like, it would be harder to times it to see how many days you have than divide it by the amount of days into hours. This I think they shouldn't do because people need to learn how many hours are in a day. Crowded says maybe the time zones are throwing them off. Time zones? Why do they care if there's time zones? You're just looking at a number. It says I've played for 1 day, and they're like, I don't know how many hours that is. I've played this game for 10 days. Oh my God, how many hours is that? It's 240. Like, what are we talking about here? Mr. Luke says, hey, what did I miss? Sarge says the downfall of humanity, Mr. Luke. Oh, man. Water says, I thought there was 87 hours in a day. Yeah, the leering. It's because everyone's going to leering centers instead of learning centers. Hours add up to days. Sounds right to me. No, but they want it to say hours. They don't want days anymore, Mr. Luke. They don't want the days showing. Even though it shows days, hours, and minutes, they're like, can you show us the hours? I think they're confused when it gets to 23 and then it goes to 24 and then the number on the left side goes up by 1. They're like, I don't understand what happened to my hours. They're completely confused by it. For God's sakes. Number 9. We're going to number 9. Okay. HDR Dashboard Support. Here's something that bugged me so much I actually just fully turned off HDR. The Xbox dashboard is not in HDR, which means that your TV set is flickering between display mode on and display mode off when you switch between the game and the dashboard. Some TV sets do this very slowly, making it a pain. It would be ideal if Xbox could just stay permanently in HDR or non-HDR modes. All right, this seems like a reasonable fix, right? This seems like a reasonable fix. We'll move on to boost support in Brazil. It's weird that they're... Now, obviously, a lot of people are voting on the Microsoft account are in Brazil. And so much so, they're number 8. Right? If there's one Xbox fan base that's arguably amongst the world's most passionate, it's not the most passionate, is Brazil. If not the most passionate, is Brazil. Xbox has enjoyed strong history in America, North, Central, and South, but global economic complexities have led to disparate support between them. Tariffs and taxes are some of the main reasons Microsoft has pulled back support from many regions across the globe in recent years, but Brazil is arguably among one of the worst hit. He says, I'm not sure how Microsoft would resolve things here, but also might require some of the governmental interventions. However, yeah, here's the thing. It's not like Microsoft doesn't want to go to Brazil. It's that Brazil has a lot of different rules and regulations inside there. So that's a problem. So regardless if you vote on it here, the boost support in Brazil, you got to talk to your government, right? You got to talk to your government and stuff like that, and I don't think they really care. They don't really care. Number 7, bring back the Xbox Avatar. Nah, I don't care about this. I don't need to play dress up and all this other shit. This is a waste. This is a waste. I'm just gonna skip this one. I don't care. Right? You guys might care. I don't care about dress up with the characters. Number 6, disc-based game support for Xbox Helix. This is another problematic one. The reality remains that PlayStation and Xbox consoles are currently the only market for disc drives. Laptops, PCs don't have them anymore. Blu-ray players have given away streaming services and digital delivery in recent years. The industry sees discs as a declining feature. PlayStation just noted that it has 85% digital delivery, and Xbox is likely even higher. That being said, I would like to see some kind of option here for discs fans, either via external drives or disk of digital program. Microsoft seems to be working on it. It would be a shame to see a disc fully go away, but they already did for PC gaming and digital world now, for better or worse. I mean, you can still get discs for PC. People just choose not to because it's so much convenient just to purchase it from Steam or GOG or from their websites themselves. I don't think disc drives are going to go away. I don't think discs are going to go away. I do think they're going to be the minority, obviously, but record players still exist. Record players actually, you can go to a Barnes & Noble or bookstore, record shops. Just the fact that you can say record shops. There's still record shops, right? With brand new record players that people make that you can listen to digital music or record players, and there's like an all-included where you can put tapes in them and stuff like that. You can actually take the tape and convert it over to actual disc if you really want to. There's a bunch of stuff. Now, is this a niche market? Sure. I think the Helix and the Xbox, obviously, PlayStation's already doing it, where if you want a disc drive, you pay extra. You pay $80 for it. Okay? So I think this is a thing that we need to still have external drives. Obviously, they're going to milk you for it if you want it, because if you're a collector, you're going to pay for it. They know you're going to pay for it. But I don't think this goes away. I don't think physical games go away completely. I just think that it's going to be the small minority out there. I mean, you can see it in Target. You can see it in Walmart. You can see it in Best Buy. You can see it wherever you go. There's very little actual discs there. And even if there are discs, they're all digital. They're just a key, basically, to put it in your machine. But for the most part, make the problem, sell the solution. That's what they're doing. Number 5, Xbox Game Pass Family Plan support. This is a big one that a lot of people are asking for, right? Well, no, it will, Roadkill. They'll just sell you a disc drive separately. That's what they'll do. Just like the PlayStation. Just like anything else. If you want a disc drive, they'll charge you for it. Xbox Game Pass Family Plan support. Here's another painful canceled project, although it wasn't actually Microsoft's fault. Microsoft was testing a family plan for Xbox Game Pass, giving up 4-user access to the library in exchange for a discount, if even implemented it in Ireland and Colombia as a test run. I was told that EA, who is a long-term contractee within the Xbox Game Pass ecosystem, fully hated the idea. It sucks because EA does the absolute bare minimum with the Game Pass involvement, refusing to put Xbox PC native versions of Play Anywhere or Xbox achievements. If the above is indeed true, I would like to see EA get kicked out of the Xbox Game Pass ecosystem in exchange for the rival of the Xbox Game Pass family plan. Personally, EA barely releases games anymore anyway. EA shouldn't be allowed to hold back Xbox customers given how contributors have been. I agree with this, right? If the family plan is being hurt because of EA, we'll see you later, EA. Like, a lot of people play the EA games through the actual Game Pass, and EA is like, well, if you do it, then we're going to lose money. And they're like, well, we should kick you out, because they would get a lot more goodwill with the family plan than they would by keeping EA on the Game Pass. But I think also Xbox is looking at this going, well, if we get rid of EA, then our value is it loses diminishing return, right? Because EA is a big point of why you would get Ultimate, because you get EA, you get Ubisoft Plus, you get the Fortnite game, Battle Pass type of stuff. So it's more value. So if they do the family plan and EA gets kicked out, there'd be less value there. That means they would have to lower it. Maybe they can lower it $3. Maybe go back to $20. I would actually pay that. I would actually pay the $20 to not have EA on the actual thing. That'd be great. Number 4, separate Xbox achievement between base game and DLCs. I'm confused here. Before I even read this, chat, why would I need separate Xbox achievements for the base game and DLCs? I'm confused. In what world do I need? Why does this have to be separate? This almost feels like the time thing again. Like, why do I need to have separate Xbox achievements between base game and DLCs? Can someone explain this to me, Chad? I'm going to read it and see if they explain it to me in the thing below. All right, so separate Xbox achievements between base game and DLCs. Here's what I often hear about. Presently, Xbox games get DLC. The extra achievements are added to the overall pool of gamer score for that title. For users who like completing games, this can be a bit frustrating, I'm sure. You spend weeks or months even working on 100%ing the game, and only for DLCs to drop in and move the goalposts. I have a question. I have a question. If you're a person that is a completionist, all right, follow me here, chat. If you're a person that is a completionist and you completed this game and you completed the game, right? You're done with the game. Now, DLC comes into the game. You're still a completionist. So now you're like, oh no, my game that was complete is no longer complete because they added DLC and it has 10 new achievements. Then you would buy the DLC, right? You played the game, you liked the game so much that you completed, you 100%ed it, and now the DLC came out for more content for that game, and now you would complete it, right? right? I'm so confused. Krebsy says, "Is this list sponsored by Tide Pods?" Mr. Luke says, "Guessing some don't have any." The DLC has its own achievements. They just add it to it, but you know it's because your brain, right? They see it. It's 100 out of 100, but now they added 10, so now it says 100 out of 110, and their brain goes, ah, and they start freaking out because now they have to go play the game again that they 100% have completed. I think this is a stupid one myself. I think this is stupid. Just my opinion. I think it's stupid. They hope to get 1,000 gamer score for each DLC. Krebsy says number 4, by the way. What was that noise again? I don't know if I can repeat it. I don't know if I can do it. I think that's what the brains do. Yeah. Mr. Z says 30. Johnny needs his participation trophy. Maybe they love that clean number. No, I get it, but then it wouldn't be a clean number. So wait. All right, let's go with that, Ray. They like the 100 out of 100, 1,000 out of 1,000. So what they're asking for now is what, an asterisk at the end? Right? So now there's going to be an asterisk there. So now they're going to be triggered because now they're going to see their 1,000 of 1,000, but there's going to be an asterisk there. And then they're going to be like, I got to play the DLC. And then they're going to go do the thing. Right? It's the same thing. Then there'll be people that complain that they didn't know. They didn't know that there was DLC. They'll be like, I didn't even know there was DLC. And then that'll be number 3 on the list. Let us know there's new DLC so we can complete the achievements, right? Number 3, make online multiplayer fully free. This probably should be number 1. I don't know what number 1 is, but it probably should be up higher. I don't know. Thank God it's ahead of separate Xbox achievement. Paying for multiple multiplayer feels like in 2026, the rise of Steam has at least be a part of due to the fact that it doesn't request any such payment wall. Mobile games too. Indeed, the entire cohort of users has grown up expecting access to be free, at least for games. Roblox, Fortnite, and so on. Microsoft would have a huge and powerful message if it sent Indeed to drop the multiplayer paywall, leaving Nintendo and Sony as a sole proprietaries of outdated downside. But also Microsoft would also be putting millions of dollars on the shelf if it did this. This would get so much goodwill, right? There would be people that it's like tearing down the Berlin Wall. They'd be like, oh my God, I can go play my games for free. Okay. Even though they would just kind of just lump it into something else, right? The business for the consoles has not changed and still has sell the box at cost, often lower than the cost, and then make the money back in the software and services. The Xbox people want, this is simultaneously cheap, has no ads, no paywall for multiplayer, simply doesn't exist in any fiscal reality that we know of. Either the box needs to be more expensive to make your margins there, or the services and the access need to be expensive, or ads need to be remapped up rather than down. I want to say that this is all bullshit. All of this is bullshit. This is what they tell you, and this is what you've been conditioned for so long, that then people write articles, and nothing against Jez, right? Because this is what he grew up with, right? He grew up with this, right? For 25 years, you've been paying Xbox Live Gold, right? PlayStation charged you for the same thing. And they told you they had to keep the lights on. They told you that, well, we're losing money on the consoles, which is not a thing anymore. Okay, they were losing money, and this is why the software was higher. Or not the software was higher. The consoles are lower, they're cheaper, and then they made money off the software. Well, now the consoles are higher. The prices are higher. Microtransactions are in games, live service games, battle passes, right? All of these other things that they nickel and dime you on are here. But they're going to sit here and tell you, well, it's just, you know, they're not making as much money off of the boxes. They're making profit off the boxes, which they didn't before in the past, like way, way back in the past, right? They've been making money off the consoles for the last, I don't know, decade and a half, maybe even 2 decades, right? Then the margins. Sure. Video games are not $100. They're only $60, $70, $80 now, but they're also digital, meaning they're not printing out as many copies, so they're saving money there. Then they're also making microtransactions on top of that. Then they have their live service games that charge you for stuff for no reason, because same game on PC and same game over here, I don't have to pay, right? Then the people that, again, that protect the consoles with all their heart because they love fucking plastic boxes, okay, they're like, well, it's just cheaper than PC. Yeah, how long have you had your box for? 5 years? 6 years. Okay, so PlayStation, 6 years. Xbox, 6 years. You've had your console since 2020. Let me talk about this in days and hours for those that are confused. Okay, so 365, you're paying monthly for your $20 a month. That's an additional, those of you that can't add out there in the world, right? 20 times 12 is $240. $240 times 5, right, is over another $1,000 in your 5 years. So you paid $600 for your console. Then you paid an additional $1,200. So now you're at $1,800, right? You buy a PC, you can get one for $1,100, $1,200, $1,400, okay? Because you're still paying for your online service from your provider in your house to then hook up your PlayStation or your Xbox to, and you're making that over the 5-year payment plan. And now PC, you could buy it day one, pay your provider just like you would do anything else, and you're also not paying for $20 extra a month to play games online. And they're like, well, it's just cheaper. You brokies don't know what you're talking about. Video games on consoles are so much cheaper than PCs. Are they? Are they? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Microsoft is a charity, and Xbox still has accountability margins. It needs to feed back into the mothership in order to people to not lose their jobs. Oh, yeah? So the 15,000 people they fired over the last, 2 years, what happened? So while dropping the paywall could be a great move, something else would have to rise up in replace of the lost revenue. What would you do? I don't know. Number 2, boost Xbox backwards compatibility. Perhaps the Xbox best exclusive features right now, backwards compatibility. Xbox and console gamers are general and getting older and more nostalgic. The fact that you can also get access to the games from decades ago and the emulation is fairly unique in the industry for the Xbox console, and it also helps force others to build up some of their own offerings on top. Windows is the ultimate backwards compatibility layer, offering games all the way back to the 1970s if you want to go extreme. But there's also some games that have simply never launched on PC, which is also now only playable via the Xbox 360 backwards compatibility. There are some holdouts still missing. The singularity of Transformers games and other 360 classic license issues prevent some of these, but it also would be cool to see Microsoft push some more over these legal hurdles. Yeah, the backwards compatibility stuff, obviously I know there's licensing deals and stuff that go through. They've got to try to fix this, right? The Activision owes the Transformers games. These are just more value that you could put over, right? Hell, maybe you can have a different thing, right? Where you can play backwards compatibilities if you get Ultimate or something like that, right? Maybe it's not a. I don't want them to do this, but if they have to make more money somehow, obviously they do, right? Because that's what they tell you. Maybe take the backwards compatibility thing and make it into the ultimate tier. Then you get people that really want it; they'll pay the ultimate tier for that as well. So kick EA out, right? Kick EA out. And then put the backwards compatibility for all the old titles on the thing. That way you could pay the fee for the licensing of the old games again, right? To like Hasbro or whoever owned it back then. And number 1, a return to Xbox exclusive games. Okay. Here's the biggest and most problematic one. People want Xbox to have exclusive games back again. Putting Halo, Gears, Fable, and Forza Horizon PlayStation historical encapsulates the Xbox ecosystem and brand. Battering trust and desirability for the ecosystem, PlayStation, Steam, and other companies don't want to play nice with Xbox. They want it to die. So for Xbox to surrender like this has not been a popular decision. But here's the business reality to accept here. Even with the exclusive games, there's no guarantee that Xbox would find new users, particularly not regular return users. Someone buying an Xbox console at 0% margin at best, and then only been playing a couple of games before returning, most of these spending another platform is hardly progressive business plan. But at the same time, you might not have a business to plan for. at all if everyone leaves. Why buy an Xbox in 2026 when PlayStation potentially gets all of your games? In addition, its own exclusives, which is, by the way, how apparently won't even come to Steam and Windows. Well, a lot of the games that came to PlayStation were years old. Forza came out 4 years later, right? Not James Bond. Indiana Jones came out, 6 months afterwards? And now they don't know when Forza Horizon 6 is coming. It could come 6 months. It could come a year later, right? There's no difference than what PlayStation was doing with the 14 months, 16 months, 18 months going over to PC. Same type of thing, right? What I always find funny, it's okay if it goes over to PC and Xbox, but when it goes over to the other systems, everyone's like, yeah, no. Yeah, can't do that. It's like, I'm okay with timed exclusives if you want to put your first party title on another console, right? Like, obviously, if it's your first party title, you put it on your system first, sell it on your system first, and then sell it over the other one. Obviously, the sell point here is that if you want to play it first, you would buy a PlayStation to get God of War, Last of Us, Horizon, Wolverine, right? And then 2-3 years down the road, you get a PC, and then it would be over there. Right? It's not hurting this business model over here because the people that wanted those games would have bought the system. And the people that didn't want to buy those games right away would buy it later. Same thing with Xbox. You can still have exclusives. You just don't put your exclusives so close to the other thing on the other platform. You just wait a year, wait 12 months, wait 24 months, whatever it is, then move it over. Make more money. Look at what Sea of Thieves did. Look at what Forza did over on PlayStation. Those people were never going to buy an Xbox. Ever. Never, ever were they going to buy an Xbox for that one game or the 2 games. It says, I think the foregone conclusion is Xbox will get exclusive games again. I believe Xbox only set up this as a player's voice platform to really prove the point that CEO and CFO, Satya and Amy in the language, only understand the data point that shows that Xbox consumers want exclusive content above all. Something needs to be done, and the Xbox CEO, Asha Sharma, is to figure it out, gaming's most difficult fiscal puzzle. Okay, bonus, Jez's most important feedback, revive Heroes of the Storm. Okay, so you go. It's pretty clear that people also are eager to see the most, but also realistic is all of this. So there you go. There is, what else we got here? And that's it. This list, oh, for God's sakes, we're not going down the rabbit hole. Wait a minute. All right, we're good. Ray says you want time exclusives, just buy time exclusivity. Right, but what I'm saying though is if a person like Halo, right, if a person wants to play Halo and they're super excited about Halo, they'll buy an Xbox, right, to get Halo. Right? In the old days, they're like, oh my God, I want to buy that game. Where is it? It's on Xbox. You buy the system. Now you're on the system, right? So now we're talking about 3 years into the life cycle of this system. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, we're putting Halo on PlayStation. We're putting Halo on Nintendo. And everyone's like, I can't believe you've done this. It's like, they are a business. They need to make money. And since the fan base that all bought Halo that's on the system now is there, right? And then afterwards, they can sell it, license it, or whatever to the other consoles if they choose to. And if they make it 3 million, 4 million copies, then that's an extra 3 to 4 million copies 3 years later, 2 years later. I don't have a problem with that. I have no problem with that. They don't need to make day and date on Xbox, PC, and Nintendo, right? Again, is it bad to have exclusives? No. They can have exclusives, but at the same time, timed exclusives for your first-party titles because you get all the people that you want. Whatever that time frame is, if it's 12 months, and then people are like, you know what, I'll just wait 12 months. That people would wait. They would wait 12, they would wait 16, they would wait 24. Look at people on PC. Majority of people on PC are not buying a PlayStation or an Xbox to go play their exclusives. They're like, I'll just wait. Right? If anything, PlayStation, right, should put their games still on PC, but not right away. Not like what Xbox is doing, right? Xbox wants to put their stuff on day and date on their console and PC. That's what they want to do. Like the exclusivity of this, like, well, walled off garden, you can't play Halo. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this. Halo has been on PC day and date since like 2004, 2005, or whatever it is. Right? It was on Apple. It was on PC. It's been like that the entire time. Everyone's like, oh, they're losing their identity. Like, I understand Microsoft's on PC, but Apple is not Microsoft, and you can play Halo on Apple for decades. So it makes no sense to me why people are upset. Krebsy says, Ray, revenue, IP, experience, etc. Ray says, first party time exclusives makes no sense. Just ask a third party to make you a timed exclusive. I can see some having actual thought this topic through. I can see some of them haven't actually thought this topic through. Good luck getting people to buy into the new ecosystem for a handful of games in 2026. Yeah, now it's just now we've evolved, right? Now people are like, yeah, I don't need to. Grand Theft Auto hasn't been out in 15 years. People are going to buy it, but there's also people like, I waited 15 years. I can wait 16 years. I can wait 17 years. The people on PC will wait an extra year. We'll wait an extra 2 years to get the game. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. The fucking rabbit. Going down the rabbit hole. Sorry about that, guys. Someone was at my door. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. Travis says, I waited a year for Avowed and Starfield. I don't mind waiting a year or two for anything. I just play it what I want when it's on the system I want to play on. Right, and I don't think there's a problem with people. Like, you can have exclusives on date and date on your system, and then when it comes out on other consoles, I don't think that affects the people that bought the system 2 years prior, right? I don't think that affects the people that bought the system to play the actual game that they bought the system for, because that was your choice. You wanted to buy that system because of that. Now, if you wait 2 years, it's on the other system. I don't think that's a problem. Ray says, if the Halo studio isn't worth it, if Xbox studios are not making enough money, just close them. They weren't good enough. Jesse says, how is the marketing new Halo game when there's also two ways do this? One, good and doing it woke way, and then two, bad way, doing the title woke way. You choose Xbox. I don't know if was Halo ever woke? I don't think that's a problem with Halo. The problem with Halo Infinite was that it was a live service game, it was a minimal viable product game because they didn't finish it. And it took them 18 months to fix it. Ray says the studio can't make enough money with Xbox and Windows combined. The market isn't the problem. Oh, give me one more second. I love every time I switch now. Wait. Why does it keep turning on? That's going to be annoying. I'm going to have to shut that off. Let's see. Roadkill says PC players will buy PlayStation now that Sony's going full exclusive. Give it the next couple of years, and we'll see it. I'll bet you 10 memberships. So you want to bet 10 memberships. We have to wait a couple years for the 10 memberships. Keep your 10 memberships. I'm not going to wait 10 years. I'm not going to wait 3 years from now and be like, remember that bet you did for 10 memberships? Get the fuck out of here. I don't care. Creddy says some people's perspective of lack throughout the options or exclusives hurts my head. Kraken says, did you dog kill the person at the door? No, my dog did not kill the person at the door. If he did, I wouldn't be in here still doing a podcast. Aku says PC guys aren't buying a PlayStation 5 at this point for Sony first party. With that, Sony, yeah, but not even people on Sony are buying first party titles, let alone the people that don't own a console. Like, think about that for a second. Right? First party Sony games, Astrobot, 3.3 million people bought it. Ghost of Yote, first party game, less than 4 million people bought it. People that are on the console are not even buying the fucking game. And you think people that don't own a console are going to buy the console to play those games? Come on now. Come on now. Why don't you day in the life of the farm that you live on? Because it's not that exciting. It's not that exciting. 30, just increase the membership at $50 when you're ready to cash out. 30, I'm talking about the new Halo studios. The purple hair people have also seen before. I don't know if they're new Halo. Oh, you're talking about the people that are working on the game now. Well, I don't know if they're woke or not. Regardless of what they look like, the final product is what the final product is. So if the final product comes out and it's woke, even though it's a remake of the Halo, well, that's a problem. Right? Travis says Soros wasn't bought, but that was woke and actually woke. I don't think it was actually because of that. I really don't. Like, Returnal itself was a popular game within the people that bought it, but it was like, what, was it 1.5 million, 2 million copies, I think, for Returnal? Which I'm not saying is bad, but I knew that would sell less. Now, obviously, it's only been out for 3 weeks. Maybe by the time it comes around, maybe they sell about even after like a year or two. But again, 93 million people own a PlayStation. 2 million people bought Returnal. Less than 1 million people bought the new one. Right? It's just a lot of people are not buying first-party title games. Across the board, really. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's see here. Let's talk about Google. So we got Google here. Search changes that threaten the future of digital journalism. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay? So search changes that threaten the future of digital journalism. In a recent report, it was stated that Google search, as you know it, is over and be terrifyingly accurate. terrifyingly accurate. During a recent conference, Google lifted a lid on the new AI-powered evolution of the traditional search platform, doing away with the typical method of returning links and instead opting for fully conversational results boxed and strips information clean out of the sites providing it. In the last year or two, we've seen the sites collapse under the fallout from Google's ever-changing algorithms, and the SEO mechanics also could be the final nail in the coffin for more, especially for newer, younger sites trying to carve out a name for themselves. It's not hyperbole. I can't say the word. It's not hyperbole to suggest that the change could spell death for digital journalism. Well, I think digital journalism is pretty much fucked itself, didn't it? It says, what do Google AI changes mean for the news sites? In a recent report from TechCrunch, it was revealed that soon as the next week, Google will roll out a reimagined intelligent search box featuring reacting the search results you've been used to seeing for the last couple of decades, in an upgrade of sorts over the existing method, which also returns the box of populated with AI before pivoting into a traditional list of links. So from next Tuesday, Google will throw users headfirst into a fully AI-powered interactive experience that offers conversational searches, results, prompts, deeper and more contextualized content, and even builds flow to push search further, retaining users for longer. Why do I? We live in a weird fucking world, man. This timeline is just so fucking weird. It really is. Now I have to stay more time on Google. Like, I'm gonna have a conversation, but I'm like, box office numbers for Mandalorian, and they'll be like, oh, what do you think about Mandalorian? They'll be like, I just want the box office numbers. And then you have to have a conversation with the fucking AI to try to find what you want. Like, I type, you show me what you need, right? Instead, now it's like a conversational piece that I have to have with AI. And then I gotta say, like, please and thank you to the AI bot as well. Right? It says all answered questions provide guides, satisfy curiosity, and deliver critical stories. Artificial intelligence. Fantastic. What a world we live in. New information agents can work proactively to gather information for Google user base on their desires. This means that they get the latest news, updates, informational tidbits delivered via AI before they even know they need to search for it. I'm excited, guys. Can you tell? Super excited about this. And all of this happens without the user offering a single click to the publisher providing this information. These information agents will land this summer, but the AI-powered search changes will appear as soon as next week, with the Google soaking up feedback and refining the function over time. At this point, it's worth stressing that none of these concepts are novel, but these are evolving to the point of no return for digital journalism. All right. So it says Google head search Liz Reed explained how the agents system will work. Okay. It says you could send an alert to track market movements in a particular sector with very specific parameters, and the agent will map out the monitoring plan for you, including the tools and the data it needs to access, like other real-time finance data. And this also keeps track of those changes and let you know when the conditions are met, and provides synthesized update with the links information that you can also dive into further. Like, bro, this is gonna be fantastic, right, guys? Did you ever search something right now with AI, and AI just completely just lies to you straight up? And now Google's changing everything to now you have to have conversations because they want to keep you longer on the Google search. This is crazy. Okay. It says for gaming, imagine the agent that goes away to search for the most timing updates, everything tied with Arc Raiders. The very next Embark Studios published some kind of patch notes in the social breakdown. The AI agent will run off, grab it, compile it to suit your needs, and deliver it to the matter of seconds, offering further contextual thought pieces and forward links. In other words, effectively eradicates such of what we do as an independent outlet, breaking down the key parts of the update, letting you know that this means is for you as a gamer, offering critical guides to help you with new quests, changes, and fitting your opinions into the gaming space. So this is gonna be interesting, because even if the people make videos about stuff like this, like where you can find the best weapon or what's the best seed for Minecraft, the AI is just going to do it for you, so you don't even have to go look up those things, which is very interesting. Okay. Aku says 30. Clanker, what is the orbit of the 5 billion pound rocket? 1.574, right? The thrust. Yes, these search UFO files of AI said I wasn't fake by the government. That's a lie right there. Well, no, literally, the AI literally just makes up stuff. Just makes up stuff. I think I told the story like 2 weeks ago. My friend was looking up a story, and the AI was like, "Oh, this is the story," and they gave the characters, they gave the backstory of the characters, gave the story, and they're like, "Oh, what book is that?" And the AI was like, "Oh, there's no book. I made it up." I'm sorry, what? I was searching for something, and you just decided you were gonna make it up. This is not good. People parrot stuff all the time from people that give false information. Not saying, "Oh, I watched this person and they said this. This is their opinion." No, they speak it as fact. Right? Krebsy says, sometimes I ask AI something, the answer seems off, then I go Google it, find an article on the topic, feed the AI the article for it to say, "Sorry, I got that incorrect." Yeah, that's crazy. Now think about how many people are not going to do what you just did, Krebsy, and they're just going to take that information that's aggregated and just do it themselves. That's crazy. I mean, it's already happening, and this is going to even make it worse. Instead of "Hey Siri," now it's "Hey Clanker." Let's see what else they have said here. This is a long and short and how many sites have crumbled under the strain of the SEO-related changes over the last couple of years. It says number represents the risk. According to Google, more than 2.5 billion users a month use an AI overviews feature, which drops a box at the top for each search results, pulling together key information from the top-rated sources. The conversational search mode, which allows users to use the AI agent to further their results to tweak queries on the fly, has 1 billion monthly users. Reed spoke further about these and the changes impact the average user learning on search for the content. Search can be built custom experiences just for individual questions, from dynamic layouts to interactive visuals, and they stateful project spaces that you can also return to again and again. TechCrunch, but it's perfectly, combines these changes will likely further Google referrals to publishers, which also already have been suffering from the decline referrals due to AI overviews. And this has us put some ad-dependent media operations out of business. And now things will likely get worse. I mean, let's be honest, the old way of media is going out the door anyway. More and more people are coming to, content creators that are just talking about news. But here's the thing that people don't think of, okay? We cover news stories here, right? If the news stories don't exist anymore because they're not writing them because the places go out of business, then where are we getting the news? We're getting the news based off of what AI is telling us that are being feeded and implemented, not from articles anymore, but from Google itself, right? They can control the entire from beginning, middle, and end. Where now, right, they can do that, but if one person tells a story or writes a story, and then you double check that with another story, there could be conflicting things unless they have a source. And then the source tells you this, and then this person says, "Oh, this is what this person reported." But from this is getting rid of all of that. They're just telling you what you want to hear and what the stories are, right? And that to me is crazy, because even people like myself that just cover news stories and then have conversations about it, I mean, we could cover stories and still have conversations about it, but the stories are going to be very different. They're not going to be written by people, and who knows if they're written by people now. Some of the stories that we read look like they're AI. But the entire industry just collapses. And I know people will be like, "Well, good. They sucked anyway." But there's still people writing stories. There's still people doing things. Now, if it's all just made up or told to you by certain people that run Google, well, that's going to be a hell of a world to live in, because whatever they say goes. And I don't want to live in a world like that. Okay. It says what's worse is that changes are arriving so quickly, leaving the publishers no time to pivot and adapt their process to cope with the impending inherent risk of Google evolution. And of course, it all comes down to dollars and cents. It was stated at the end of the report, Google CEO is focusing on the model being efficient, fast, and providing results at a lower price. Well, there you go. And the drive is part of Google's push to make AI much more accessible. But it also comes at a drastic cost. Independent publishers like indie gaming rely heavily on Google mechanics to drive traffic. This is no big secret. This is why so many outlets rely on guide content SEO focused pieces and trend to stay afloat. With Google effectively unsurprising content giving nothing back to the websites publishing it, a dire situation will start to emerge, worse still than we also have over the last 12 months or so. It says, I will stress that this is one of the most critical reasons why Inside Gaming offers so much to you, our reader, and we have our diversification of covers, guides, esports, tech-focused content, and we have bolstered over reviews offering in the last few months. We also offer a free Insider Gaming app, which also delivers, this is not an advertisement, I'm just reading the article. I don't really care about Inside Gaming. I'm just reading the article. It includes fresh experiences and more coming to all the time. We also have free to consume, right? They're trying to make a pitch here. Like, hey, so what's going to happen now is that all these, you think subscription models are bad. Most of these websites, like IGN and stuff, I know they already have, like, you could support them in some way, shape, or form. They're going to push on this even more, right? Everyone's going to make their own website, own thing. So if you like that, then you can go subscribe to them. But then you're still only getting only that one side of news. You're not looking at someone else's and comparing the two stories, right? Now it's verbatim for what it is, and then you're in your own little bubble. This is going to be interesting to see. What's that site, chat, where it doesn't lean left, it doesn't read right? Is it Is it not the Guardian? There's a news site that shows you if it's left, right, or center. I forget what it is. I know they were promoting it a couple of months ago a lot on people's channels, but that's going to be a lot harder to do now, especially since Google is going to be making articles up based off other people's information, but they're not going to give you a link to that person's story anymore. They're just going to say that that's the story. It says, we travel the world and stay abreast of everything that's happening in the broad, ever-changing industry and bring back the best content possible while running a lean, producing, and staggering level of maintaining relatively a small team. Google might try to push us down, but we'll try like hell to stay on top. It's going to be very hard for these corporations, or these outlets, I should say, to stay in business. It'll be very interesting to see what happens within just the next couple of months over the summer. All right, we'll see what happens with that. Why? Okay, hold on a second. I've got to change what this is. Play back when the source becomes active. No. That's why. All right, let me see something real fast. Okay. And then, all right, we're good now. I was like, why do I have to keep pressing? Now, if I hit this, okay, good. We're good now. All right. Aku says, 30, a lot of the politics are being pushed by AI. People with the bias program with AI could also be aggregates, used bias sources to make up something per the agenda. Right. IGN is secretly entirely AI, and how you get a 6 out of 10. Too much cheese. Yeah, seriously. Clowns to the left, jokers to the right, and here I am stuck in the middle with you. Yeah. What is that site called though? I forget what it was. I want to say is it the Guardian? No, it's not the Guardian. I don't know, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens in the future here with news stories. Maybe they'll get canceled, sort of like this. Brand new Dungeons and Dragons game from Star Wars Vet canceled. All right, it's been confirmed that Hasbro has officially canceled the Dungeons and Dragons single-player action-adventure game that is being developed by Giant Skull. We were just talking about this. Not this. We were talking about this yesterday on Fake News, with Wizard's Fake News, right? Me, Tom, Isaac, and Wizard were talking about Hasbro. Took $1 billion, opened 6 studios in 2018, and are making single-player games. Well, Hasbro is just sitting and just screwing up left and right. They can't do anything correctly. They own some of the biggest IPs in toy history and whatnot. Ground. Thank you, Krebsy. It's Ground. Thank you very much. And here we are yet again. Hasbro has just been confirmed that Hasbro has officially canceled the Dungeons and Dragons single-player action-adventure game. Now, they said they're taking $1 billion and making 6 studios so they can make single-player games. And the first game that's supposed to come out is The Expanse. The second game to come out is the Witcher type of game called the Warlock. And now this is one of the other games. Remember, 8 years now, since 2018, we have yet to see anything from Hasbro's single-player games that they've been working on. 2 of them are supposed to come out early next year, maybe late this year. And now the Star Wars game being canceled. So it says Giant Skull Dungeons and Dragons game announced last year in June was being handed up by the studio founder, Stig, which is from Respawn. He was with Respawn making the Last Jedi, or Cal Kestis Jedi game. The graduate of the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, Stig has also had a fairly lengthy career in the video game industry. He credited roles of Realm of the Video Games, a 3D artist in 1999, Gauntlet: The Dark Legacy. 2000, he moved over to Santa Monica Studios, where he worked on the lead environment artist as God of War, then the art director both of God of War 2 and God of War Chains of Olympus, as well as the creative director of God of War 3 following core. Then he moved over to Respawn Entertainment, acting as the game director for both Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Now, Stig, Dungeons & Dragons game has been canceled. In early 2024, Stig announced his formation of a brand new independent video game studio named Giant Skull. The studio's first project, who said the AAA single-player game powered by Unreal Engine 5. In June of 2025, this game was revealed by Hasbro to be a gameplay-driven story, immersed action-adventure game set in the Dungeons & Dragons universe. According to a new report, Bloomberg, Jason Schreier, Giant Skull Dungeon Dragon game has officially been canceled. The statement provided by Bloomberg and Wizards of the Coast spokesperson as it follows. We assess concepts at every stage of development. While we also decide not to pursue an early concept from Giant Skull, we have also been great respect for Stig and his team as a value of an ongoing relationship. Bloomberg also reached out to Stig himself, who told the outlet that things are good at Giant Skull, suggesting that his cancellation hasn't jeopardized the studio too much. It's unclear if Giant Skull has any other projects currently in the works. As of Hasbro, the company currently has a handful of games announced, and presumably some of others secretly in development as part of Hasbro's ongoing plan to produce more games in-house. Well, apparently, this was one of the 6 games of 6 studios that they're giving money to make single-player games, and now there's only 5. And here we are. 2018, they had 6 studios working on games, and yet here we are in 2026, 8 years later. Now there's 5 studios working on single-player games, and you just have to wonder, even if the games that they're working on, Exodus and the Warlock game, are they going to come out finished? Are they going to come out? Did they change along the way? There's no way they've been working on this game 8 years. No way they've been working on a game since 2018, and they're just coming out early next year. Right? So it says back in May 2024, Hasbro announced it's investing $1 billion into its own gaming studios at the time. These studios consist of Atomic Arcade, Invoke Studios, Skeleton Key, Archetype Entertainment. Skeleton Key horror project reportedly canceled in February 2025. Atomic Arcade was shut down in February of this year. Archetype Entertainment is still hard at work in the debut game of Exodus and Mass Effect, like sci-fi RPG, coming from the former key member of BioWare. Invoke Studios announced Warlock Dungeons & Dragons at the Game Awards in 2025. Interestingly, Warlock is also being described as a single-player action-adventure game set in the dark fantasy world of Dungeons & Dragons. So, hold up a second. Back in May of 2024, Hasbro announced that they were investing $1 billion. But that was back in 2018. They announced it in May 2024 that they've been working and they spent $1 billion, and they started back in 2018. We just read that article yesterday, okay? So since then, the studios consisted of Atomic Arcade, which is 1, Invoke Studios, Skeleton Key, Archetype Entertainment, okay? That's only 4 of the 6. And they've canceled another game. So now they're down to 4 games. This is going to be fantastic, guys. Exodus is going to come out, and I guarantee you it's going to be a very short game. It feels like it's going to be a short game. It doesn't feel like they've been working on it for 8 years. It feels like they've been working on it for about 3 years. And maybe it comes out and it's just as good as Mass Effect 1 was when it came out, right? I don't want to compare it to the Mass Effect series, but they keep telling us it's like the Mass Effect series. And even the guys working on it were ex-BioWare employees that also worked on Mass Effect, right? So we'll see what happens with this. But Hasbro, yet again, we used to have wait, do I still have it? I think we still have it. We have a Hasbro. Yeah. Haven't heard this one in a long time.
Nobody
You say it's been in the works for a while, Mo, but 8 years? There you go. I haven't heard that one in a while. It's been in the works for a while. Yeah, but it seems like something happened along the way and they didn't work on it for a bit. There's no way that Exodus has been worked on for 8 years. No way. And if they started in 2024, there's no way that it's going to be anywhere close to being done. And they're going to have major problems with it. Right? They announced it in 2024 that they had a $1 billion going into studios. There's no way in hell that this game is going to come out and it's going to be in good standing. If it's only been working for 2 to 3 years, what was it before the 2 to 3 years if they started in 2018? Jesse Max says, hey, Hasbro, go back to making your baby's doll toys, wasting $1 billion to make video games for 8 years. Yep, nope. Like, I just don't get it. They own Power Rangers, Transformers, G.I. Joe, My Little Pony, Peppa Pig, right? They own a lot of big titles, IPs that they can make games. Regardless if I want a My Little Pony game or a Peppa Pig game, there's an audience out there for it. Make a game of those things. Now, I know Peppa Pig just came out on whatever Game Pass, right? But Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Transformers, I've said this so many times, over and over and over and over. Transformers is probably some of the best IP, and not because I like Transformers, just because they're robots in disguise. They transform into bugs, construction vehicles, trucks, cars, airplanes, right? Dinosaurs. They cover everything a boy loves. And yet, for some strange reason, Hasbro's like, I just don't understand. I just don't know what we should do. What kind of stuff should we make? It boggles my mind. Krebsy says, I think Exodus could be the other one, but one is recasting the protagonist. That's Expanse. Expanse is doing a change in the protagonist. Saint says they could be cool, bro, but instead they've has been, bro. Nice, Saint. It's good. It's good. I'll give you a. We'll give it to you. 5 points to Gryffindor. Roadkill says they're just too scared to put the money into. They see video games fail all the time. Yeah, but it's like, how do you not? Supposedly there's another Transformers game being made. Okay, single player Transformers game being made. How do you not already have this in motion? How come there wasn't a Transformer game based on the Transformers 1 movie? Like, I'm not saying connect it, but why didn't you have a video game ready to go? You knew you were making the movie. It just boggles my mind. These suits, man, they don't know what they're doing with the IPs that they have. Not look good for Exodus. I want to know, you know what? Let's look that up real fast. I want to know when Exodus, how do you spell it? It's EXODUS. Okay. Development for sci-fi action RPG Exodus began in 2019. Archetype Entertainment and studio founded by a former BioWare developer was established by Wizards of the Coast. 2019. Started in 2019. So we're 7 years. 7 years into the cycle of that game. Now, just how long... How long did it take Mass Effect? Original Mass Effect, about 3.5 years. I have a question. Chat, I have a question. The original people that made Mass Effect in 3.5 years. The people that went on to make Exodus have been working on it for double that time, 7 years. That is a red flag if I've ever seen one. Right? If video games are supposed to be easier to work with now, why is it taking double the time? I thought it was coming out last year. It was supposed to come out this year, and then it got pushed back to early next year. Like it's coming out like February or something like that. Jason says, development hell. Corp's telling them that they have to do makes process go slower. Double the time. Were they? Well, all right, I'll give it to you. 2019 they started. Then 2020 probably all working from home. Moved over to 2021 that time. I feel like this game has changed dramatically. Probably in like 2022, 2023 is when they changed it to what it is today. Again, have no proof of that. But come on. 7 years, 7.5 years, 8 years by the time it comes out. Jesse Mack says Exodus is the one that have the armored in the trailer. This has also been doing books and movies. That's another reason to be cautious. Yeah, but these people haven't been doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? Travis, the game company has nothing to do with the people making the books and the stuff like that. The crazy part is, okay, when did the show come out that you guys love? Oh, that's Exodus. Never mind. That's Expanse. You're talking about that's Expanse that has the show, right? Was there other stuff for Exodus in other ways, shape, or form of things that that been in the past, or is it a brand new IP they started in 2019? I'm pretty sure they're using the Unreal Engine 5, the easiest engine to use. Why is it taking 8 years? Jason says another two human situation. I will say this, interesting that the book didn't have that many aliens in it, but yet they're prominent in the game. Yeah, how our game is more easier to make, but yet they're taking double the time to make. Think about Mass Effect for a second. Well, here's another thing we have to look at. Hold on. Exodus development team. All right, let's go with Exodus. Size of Exodus development team. $150 people. Okay, so 150 people are making Exodus. 7 years. Okay. Now, size of development team. Size of Mass Effect team, Mass Effect 1. Okay, so Mass Effect, the development team of the original Mass Effect consisted of approximately 130 people. The game was in development for about 3.5 years before it released in November of 2007. So 130 people made the original Mass Effect 3.5 years. So now we have the Exodus team, 150 people, 7.5 years. I'm calling red flag right now. Be very, very cautious of that game. Do not buy that game when it comes out day one. You hold off. Not because of the delays. Delays are fine, right? Red flag. But you have 20 more people, and you've doubled the amount of time that you spent on this game. That means the budget, right? All right, let me look up the pictures. All right, that means the budget of this game is going to be really high. Let's see. You just sent me the pictures. Okay. Exodus Become the Traveler, and Exodus. Oh, I'm sorry. The Armament Engine, and the other one is the Helium C. Yeah, so what year do those come out? Kraken says I already pre-ordered. Good job, Kraken. They do not know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, maybe they learned the engine for the first time. I don't know, maybe they switched engines. Maybe that's what they did. Maybe they switched engines. Maybe they were working with an older engine and they decided to redo the game in the new engine. Again, speculation. I just can't imagine that you've worked on the entire game double the amount of time that the original Mass Effect was, and you're comparing your game to Mass Effect, and the people that worked on it were the original, not the whole staff, but a lot of people that worked on the original Mass Effect. Mo says there's a second book coming next month. Also pretty much Alien in the book. Engine Helium Seas comes out in June. Okay. So they're what you're saying is they're releasing the books, and then they're going to release the game early next year. Is that what you're saying? So I got 2024, releasing the book in 2026, and then the game comes out in early 2027. I mean, I'm not saying this is a skull and bones situation here, but it does seem off. Something's going on here. Let's see. Exodus delayed. Was the game delayed, or is it going according to plan? With the release of the second book halfway through next year, the third book dropping probably around the same time is expected at Q3, Q4. Highly anticipated sci-fi RPG Exodus has been delayed to early 2027, originally targeted for 2026. Archetype Entertainment is using the extra development time to polish the game and expand the universe. Here are the key details. Okay. So it doesn't say, are they in, let's see, Exodus. Regarding upcoming sci-fi Exodus refers to the extensive 6.5-year development, now 7, multiple delays, intense burnout, and plagued its creators, combined with concerns over how the game is being handled. Oh boy. All right, well, let's read some of the stuff here, shall we? The situation gained widespread attention and sparked development hell, fears due to several specific events. Studio head James stepped down. Okay, so the studio head stepped down. In a highly unusual move to debut title, the co-founder, lead creative force, arbitrarily stepped away from the studio, Archetype Entertainment, citing severe burnout and the heavy toll it was taking on his health. Okay, so there's the red flag number 1. Okay. Delayed release. The highly anticipated Mass Effect style game has been delayed multiple times, shifting release target from 2026 to 2027. How many times has it been delayed there? Okay. 2, marketing silence. After a heavy rollout of the trailers and world-building teasers, a long period of relatively silence of the developers led to fan speculation that the project was struggling with production milestones. Hasbro massive investment. The game is a massive financial bet for publisher Wizard of the Coast, or /Hasbro. Immense pressure of the building a brand new IP from scratch, while balancing complex time dilation, mechanics, and story branching, has proven that the incredibly ambitious undertaking. Despite these growing pains, the studio continues to refine the game and former BioWare writer to the narrative. So there you go. They're having problems, my friends. I would hold off on that one. Just a friendly reminder. Clip says, man, I love it when I have to buy another material to get the full lore of the game. That's fun. You know, what you could do is put it in the lore of the items of the game, like the Souls game. Let's see. There's also a handbooks and traveler's guide and an encyclopedia. There's only 2 books. Well, what they said was there's a third book in development is what it said. There's 2 books, and there's a 3rd book in development. But this is coming from 5 months ago. The game was delayed. Okay, let's see. TTRPG book dropping probably around the same time. All expected Q3 release. The game with low gameplay animations looks in the trailer. I think that's also almost ready. Points delayed because of the GTA 6. Well, that's another thing, right? They're pushing that back because of GTA. They don't want to be anywhere near GTA, which makes sense. It says with the release of the 2nd book halfway through next year and the 3rd TTRPG book dropping probably around the same time. So maybe they haven't announced the 3rd book yet. If the studio was formed in 2019, they were building it during COVID, and the top of that, the founder left. They went full retard from slop, forgot you never go full retard. Well, that's what I said, Krebsy. If they started in 2019, I said they were in during COVID, right? They're probably working at home. Probably in 2021, they started something different. Guy got burnt out or whatever. Back in 2024, he left, right? So now we're talking. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of problems with that game already. That's great. You can have a great writer, Mo, but if the game is struggling, the story can only take you so far. Now, if you're a great writer and you're making a movie, the actors can pick it up, but the gameplay and stuff like that, if the game sucks, right? I'm not saying it's going to suck, but if the game sucks because of mechanically the game, then that's a problem in a video game. That's a lie? What's a lie? Hamlin signed on for 2 books. Look, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just reading the stuff that I'm reading on the thing. I'm not saying it's true or false. I'm just giving you information. Here we are. This person's saying this person's saying that. Go down the rabbit hole.
Oh, where I land, I do not know. But here I fall down the rabbit's hole.
And make your own decision. What's right and what's wrong. Let's see here. This one's the same kind of story and disk drive stuff. All right, let's go to this story. Sony Days of Play 2026 sales may skip the PlayStation 5 and the worst possible time. Okay, so PlayStation 4 holdouts hoping for a PlayStation 5 discount may be out of luck. It was recently confirmed that the next Call of Duty game will not launch on PlayStation 4, putting more pressure on the long-term holdouts to finally upgrade Sony Days of Play 2026 sale. Now, it would have also been a perfect opportunity to buy a PlayStation 5 at a discount, especially after the decent console price hike. However, according to the new Deals Lab report, reliable tipsters, they may not be happening this year. Now, remember what I always say, that everyone thinks that PlayStation is against Microsoft. And I've always said that Nintendo, PlayStation, and Microsoft, or Sony and Microsoft, are in bed together because they are the industry. Okay? And I give the example of the new Wonka movie where Willy Wonka is trying to sell his chocolate in the block, but the 3 other vendors are all working together, even though they're separate to the public. They're working together to stop other people from coming in because they run the town. That is the analogy of Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. Okay? So Call of Duty, obviously, 100%, they've been struggling. The last 2 years, they haven't made the sales they supposedly were selling before. Okay? Now they put it on Game Pass. Now they're taking it off Game Pass. But now they're like, hey, Call of Duty is the best-selling game every year. Right? Every year, except last year. Battlefield 6 beat it. So now here we are with Call of Duty being announced after the price hikes, obviously. It wasn't before. It was after the price hikes. Now telling people, hey, if you want to play Call of Duty, you got to come over to PlayStation 5. So instead of making more money on the past consoles, they've decided that we're only making Call of Duty now for the new consoles. So Sony's like, hey, you think you could make the next Call of Duty just for the new consoles? Because sales are down. We need to get sales up. We need to put stuff, and we're going to raise the price. Miraculously, it all came after Sony made their voices heard and said, hey, we're raising the prices up. It says, what discounts are expected during the Days of Play in 2026? According to Days of Play, 2026 will run from May 27th to June 10th. The sale will also overlap in Sony's next State of Play showcase to June 2nd, where the company is expected to show more than 60 minutes of updates, including an extended look at Marvel's Wolverine. Okay. The leak also deals mostly in accessories, the PSVR 2 and the few games. Some DualSense controllers are expected to be $20 cheaper, which also bring down the $54.99. The DualSense Edge could also see a smaller cut, dropping from $219.99 to $189.99. PSVR 2 may get one big discount, with the price reportedly falling down from $449.99 to $349.99. Ghost of Yotei is also expected to drop from $79.99 to $54.99, while the Pulse Elite headset and the Pulse Explorer earbuds could get at least a $20 off. Now, it's amazing. I thought Yotei was just such a good game. It made almost as many sales as Tsushima. It's amazing. They stopped just a couple months afterwards for the multiplayer stuff for Yotei, not a year and a half after for Tsushima, right? And now it's going on a $20 discount because it's $80, right? $80 to $54.99, or pounds. It says PlayStation Plus has recently went up in price. May also get an extra 5% discount through PlayStation Direct, which is reportedly a combine of Days of Play offer. That's nice. Raise the price and then bring the price down. Will PlayStation 5 get a discount this year? The biggest missing deal appears to be the PlayStation 5 itself. Unlike previous Days of Play, sales says that there are also currently no signs of Sony-backed discounts on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Digital Edition, or PlayStation 5 Pro consoles. That will likely sting more this year because PlayStation 5 hardware is already more expensive than it was during last year's sale. Sony recently raised prices to $64.99 for the standard and $599.99. For the standard as $600 now for digital edition, and also $900 for the PlayStation 5 Pro. The absence of the console discount may also be tied in to rising component costs, especially the RAM and the chips. It's also become more expensive due to strong AI-related demand. Sony has not officially announced the Days of Play 2026 offers yet, but it follows a usual schedule. Confirmation would arrive in the coming days. So there you go. You can't tell me that these guys don't work in tandem together, right? I find it very odd that they're sending emails out to PlayStation 4 guys saying, "Hey, PlayStation 5, you're going to need that to play the Grand Theft Auto." Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that Grand Theft Auto shouldn't be on the old consoles, right? It should be on the new consoles. But they're trying to force people, right? They're lowering the PSVR 2 by quite a bit, right? $449 to $349, $100 for the PSVR 2. Now, obviously, you used to have to have a PlayStation to buy that because you had to have the $500 PlayStation to get the PSVR 2 to use. Now they have changed it. So now this is actually a pretty good price for the PSVR 2. Standalone headset, cheaper, the cheapest one now on the market because Meta raised their prices up, right? So you get a VR headset for $350 if that stays or around $350. So that's a good deal for that. Obviously, it doesn't look like they're putting the Portal on sale. At least they haven't announced that they're putting the Portal on sale. And there's no sale for the actual console itself. And on top of that, Call of Duty is not going to be made for the PlayStation 4 next year. Or this year, right? So the next one coming out this year is not for PlayStation 4. So they're 100% pushing everyone to get on the next console or whatnot. But we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. Obviously, Sony doesn't look good at this very moment with the raising the prices. Either does Xbox. Let me just say that. Xbox doesn't look that good, but they have goodwill in their corner right now because they are a new CEO. She's making changes, even though she's just moving the furniture around. Okay. She's making the changes that people see visually, and they're like, oh, so they have like this freebie thing right now going on, right? Goodwill going on. Sony doesn't have that. Sony doesn't have the goodwill right now. Sony's like getting beat up, right? Raising the prices for this thing, not going on sale. So, no games. They're getting beat up a little bit right now in the public eye. But we'll see what happens with the sale. We'll see what happens will people buy a whole bunch of stuff. As soon as Grand Theft Auto gets announced, we'll see how many people are going to buy the brand new system that they don't want to buy right now. We'll see what happens. Like, are they waiting for a bundle to happen? Like, all the people that want to buy Grand Theft Auto, they know it's coming. So why don't they buy the system now? Why aren't they buying the system right now if they know it's coming? Right? But these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. If you like what I do here, check out some other videos. Thanks for watching. Kraken says, I say that they're shooting themselves in the foot versus getting beat up. All right, I can agree with you there, Kraken. Hey, whatever. Right now, the persona of Sony, they're on their outs right now, right? For goodwill, right? Xbox is not really like high up, but the persona in the public eye is that there's a lot of goodwill going on. And again, because Asha Sharma is just moving the furniture around the room. Like, she's not doing massive changes. Like, the things that they did was because of Satya Nadella and Amy screwing over the other guys that got fired, and now they just backed off and let her change the stuff back. The bar is in hell. So we'll see what happens with the PlayStation stuff going forward. This we don't have to talk about. We're going to do our daily numbers here, right? Battlefield had its big update. The season for Battlefield's amazing. People are loving Season 3. Look at the uptick in Battlefield numbers right there. Boom. Did Season 3 come out yet? I think it did. I don't even know. Did it launch? Maybe it didn't even launch. Let's see. Battlefield 6 Season 3 release date. Oh, yeah. No, it came out May 12th. Yep. That's it right there. That's the uptick. Let's go to the last week. Yeah, there it is. There's the normal. There's the uptick. And here we are. We're back to normal here. So the last week, we're back to normal. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. 37,000, 50,000 people over here. And that number that I thought about the other day, we were talking about the PlayStation numbers. Well, we talked about it on Monday, I think it was. I thought about this for a second. 14 million people, they said, were playing Fortnite in a week. It was in a week. So then I was thinking about the number breakdown. And people that can't break down, days, hours, and minutes, they're not going to understand this. But if you have 14 million people, if you divide that over the 7-day period, it's about an average of 2 million people playing a day, right? It was 14 million people for the week, meaning 2 million people logged in every day to play on average. That makes much more sense than the 14 million number, right? That's why they picked a week. They're saying Fortnite made 14 million players in the week. Hence why when they showed like Call of Duty was at 4 million, 4.5 million, which is like 4 times more than Battlefield 6. That's for the week. Well, 4 million divided by the 7, we're talking like 700,000 people, right? Same that goes with the Battlefield 6. Everyone's like, oh, 1.5 million people, right? Well, 1.5 million people. Let me use the calculator here. So if you have 1.5 million, divide that by 7, that's 214,000 people concurrent per day, basically, right? That's not a peak of 1.5 million people playing Battlefield 6 at that moment. I thought about that afterwards, like yesterday. It was like yesterday or whatever. I was like, wait a minute, that 14 million doesn't make sense because they said the total player base was 14 million across all devices for Fortnite. And so how could PlayStation have 14 million? But that's because they're saying for the week they had 14 million people, not individual users, just people log in. Let's see here. Kraken says the bar is in hell, and Steam just keeps on catching the easy W's. Krebsy says, what has Asha even done? She's moved the furniture around. Krebsy, she's moved the furniture around. Justy says, Sony, like a very bad outcast of the family, almost is like hate relationship. Kraken says, what do you mean, Krebsy? Asha gave us the new Xbox start screen. Yeah, an Xbox! You got to scream Xbox. You got to scream it. Gamers trash along with Marathon. Oh, speaking of Marathon, let's check in. Let's check in with the Marathon numbers. There it is. The beautiful Marathon numbers. The game that everyone loves. The reset happens soon, right? The reset happens. Is it happening this week or next week? Whatever it is, like it's coming down to the wire here for Marathon. What's going to happen to this number once everyone loses their stuff? It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I'm excited, chat. I don't know if I'm more excited about that or what the box office number is for Mando and Grogu this weekend. Kraken says, hey, let's leave Marathon out of this, okay? No. All right? They made their bed. We're bringing them up. Krebsy says June 2nd, ironically, the same day as State of Play. State of Play, we can actually cover. We can cover that. Well, actually, we probably won't even be live because it's like, 1 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever. Because I'm going on vacation. Our normal summer vacation, we're leaving on the 4th. So I will not be here for any of the Summer Game Fest or anything like that. I will just be a patron to watch it. I will not be live watching it with you guys this year. Not a big loss. Watch, they announce all the cool things, but I won't be watching it with you. I will be on an airplane, and then I'll be in Washington, D.C. So, all right. Let's see what else is going on. Am I looking forward to the Mando movie? No, I'm looking forward to the Mando movie to see how bad it does. I have no interest in the Mando movie. None. The reviews that I've read from people that have watched it, and then just other people that have saw the preview, it's not good. Now, I don't want to ruin anyone for anybody. If you want to go watch the movie and you think it's a fantastic movie, and great, enjoy. I am not interested in it. Argus says she had them push out a few different updates, small stuff, but stuff that players wanted nonetheless. The Xbox logo and the home screen, the UI and profile updates, and ending Copilot on AI on mobile and console. Yeah, but Argus, it's very low effort type of stuff. I mean, it's making goodwill. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know if you missed my analogy in the beginning of the show when I said the couch is in front of the door. People can't get through the door. You invite someone over. Asha goes, what about if you move the couch away from the door? And you're like, that's genius. And then everyone's like, what a great fix. It's like she just removed the cork to let it flow. You know what I mean? She's not doing amazing things. And there's nothing against her. It's just that she's just fixing what Nadell and Amy fucked up. And there's super simple things to fix. Like, everyone wanted Phil Spencer to, like, move the fucking world to fix stuff. She comes in as like, we went from Xbox to Xbox, like a capital, right? We went from the logo was white, now it's green, and everyone's like, amazing. Eclipse says, I will watch it with drop frames then. Yeah, please do. Just don't forget where you came from. No, okay. Kraken says, I'm ready to be whelmed by Sony. August says, talking about looking at exclusive stuff like that. Yeah, but again, the people that made the problem are still at the company. They're the people that fired the other guys. Krebsy says the state of play will be big. They're having live audience, and they haven't happened since 2020. And the same gave 2 weeks notice that doesn't happen. But watch it be nothing. the last time they did a live show, isn't that when they did the Last of Us 2, where they played the music in front of people, where they moved them from like one tent to the other? Wasn't that it? Wasn't the last time they had like a live show with the audience? Waterbear says, I mean, she did make Xbox all caps, right? Well, she didn't. She did a vote. The audience did, and she said, and it will now be known as Xbox. They are ending Copilot on Xbox. Copilot is general, and it's ending. In general, is ending. Roic says she just opened the window curtains. That's right. It was really dark in here. And she's like, fixed it. And everyone's like, oh my God, this looks amazing. What did you do? I opened the blinds. Holy shit. Oh, you're amazing. You are amazing. I wasn't here in the beginning of the stream, and yeah, it's all small stuff. She's gathering players' positive statements and giving people stuff they are asking for, not what they existed. She'll be able to count. Yeah, no, 100%. Right? Like I'm not giving her shit. I'm just saying the stuff that she's doing is like low-hanging fruit type of stuff. Water Bear says, are we getting Ultimate Alliance 4 at the State of Play? You know what? I'll tell you this, Water. If Sony PlayStation, right, does what Nintendo did and brings Ultimate Alliance 4 and it's exclusive on PlayStation, I will borrow a PlayStation. I will borrow someone's PlayStation. I'm still not buying a PlayStation. But they got me interested in borrowing one. Sony is just doing this because it's all bad press right now with their price hike. Yeah, I mean, again, it's like this guy's doing good and this guy's doing bad. They're all getting their lumps right now. It'll be fine. We'll see what happens as it goes on. Krebsy says she isn't getting credit for the Game Pass price lowering. In my opinion, that shit was planned before she took over. They had to recoup the money COD lost out. That's good. Possible, Krebsy. I do believe it was a stupid move, and even if it was her thing, she didn't put it back to where it was. It's still $3 more. Clip says the big news is it's going to be more Wolverine. Yeah, I think it'll be like 15-minute like play session of Wolverine, right? They're going to show a lot of it. Mr. Luke says she turned the lights back on. Yeah, open the blinds, move the couch, turn the lights on. Everyone's like, holy shit, what a makeover. Wait a minute. That was green? Oh, I didn't know that. All right, they're just, people are amazed. I can't believe they didn't include an exclamation mark for Xbox. Oh, that would have been, do you know how much that would have cost to put an exclamation mark at the end of Xbox? They charge by the letter. So just Xbox, they're like, we have to replace 3 letters. They don't want to replace 3 letters and add an exclamation mark. Krabby says, here's part many are overlooking. Asha brought in AI people for position instead of giving one of them to Booty. Why even keep Booty at this point if he's a regime change? I think Booty's playing. All right, here's what I'm thinking. Are you ready? Here's what I'm thinking. I've already said that I think Asha Sharma is going to take over Satya Nadella's job, right? What if Matt Booty's just being there so he can take the position over that she leaves? She's going to go to CEO of Microsoft, and then Matt Booty takes over Xbox. What do we think about that? Do we think plausible? Right? He's playing nice, right? He wasn't going to get that job with Sarah Bond there. Right? He's like, I'll do whatever you want, Asha. And she's like, all right, when I become CEO, you can have Xbox. Is that all right, Booty? I think we might have that happen. It's plausible. Right? How old is Booty? Matt Booty's age is what? Matt Booty. How old is he? Matt Booty is Executive Vice President of Microsoft. 59. 59. She's there for 2 years. He's at like 61, maybe 62. Right? So maybe he takes it over just to top it off with a feather in his cap right before he retires. You know what I mean? Comes in at like 61, 62, stays there for maybe until he's like 65, 66, and then he kind of retires type of thing, right? Maybe? Who knows? Mr. Luke says, or Xbox? Question mark? The booty box. That's what Xbox 6 should be called, or the next Xbox. The booty box. I don't know if he's playing the long game. I just look at it and I'm trying to look at who's there. It didn't make sense to me that Matt Booty got kept there while Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond got let go, right? That always kept me a little weird. I was like, wait a minute. He was part of that whole thing. Why isn't he gone as well? Right? And then as she came in, I was like, she moves on. She doesn't keep a position very long. And maybe the end game is that she becomes the CEO, because Satya Nadella is up there in age as well, right? Maybe he's out the door soon. Krabsy says, I'll be waiting for Asha to get blamed for everything like Sarah did. No, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I think she takes over. Mr. Luke says he's a booty kisser. That's why huge yes man, I bet. Oh, I bet he is. Yeah, I bet he is. Yeah, I just feel like he said the right things. Like, I was never along with that. I thought it was a stupid marketing. I told them, right? Remember, Matt Booty's the guy who said that Redfall is good. Remember that? Matt Booty was in charge at that time, and he didn't relay the message that Redfall was broke. Right? Matt Booty's the guy who also said Tango GameWorks, we need better games, and then they closed Tango GameWorks as they got, one of the better games of the year. They won awards and stuff. Let me see what he said. Matt Booty Game Studio addressed Redfall. Let's see. This is back in 2023. Let's see. Does he have quotes here? This is what Matt Booty said. When a studio becomes part of Xbox, like it or not, they become part of first party. As part of our first party, they exist in a different spotlight. People look at them through a different lens, and this is what our responsibility as a wider Xbox organization, to make sure that we understand that, and they make sure that they set up what we set expectations appropriately. Okay. Sometimes the team can just get a little bit tunnel vision around their game, and sometimes the management can have the opposite problem. And when maybe they zoomed in a little too far out, we had people play the game, and we had reviews. We do mock reviews. We also indicators that it was also going to perform better than it did. And I think the team was so committed to that, and we're building, and they just had a little bit of tunnel vision. It says, if I were to take a post and note back in time, my little time machine in 2017, I'd make sure that everybody understands that they don't get to just ship a game as Double Fine or Excel anymore. They're going to look as part of the first party. Okay. You still screwed it up. It says, I feel like we've got also the rhythm and cadence going across our studios. Everything I look forward from here today going to the end of 2024 have been builds of the games. I've got some hands-on confidence that everything in the next 18 months, I know what shape it's in, and there are not a lot of flyers there. If I were to do a self-critique, I'd say maybe sometime we do try to get the reality of our situation out a little earlier than others might. But we try to build trust with other player bases and trust with our fans and letting them know how things were going to be important. So So I played Clockwork Revolution a year ago, and they decided to wait and show it here at this time showcase. So we're trying to be a little bit more disciplined about what the timing around release and how we do manage expectations. That game alone, I'm a little worried about, right? Clockwork Orange, we're like, where's that at? This is the guy that's secondhand right now to Asha Sharma. Oh yeah, he becomes a CEO. That won't happen. More evidence of Booty is the next, and Booty will get the Sarah treatment when he retires at 65. So you still think he's going to stay at the company for another 6 years? You think it's closed? I don't know if it's. I think it's going to come out. It's been a long time though. Yeah, it's been a long time for that game. All right, what else we got going on? So you think he gets shit canned at 65? You think he gets to stay at the company for 6 more years? I think he gets promoted. I think she's out in 2. She gets promoted in 2. How old is Satya? How old is he? He is. Yeah, he's 58. Well, he's the same age. Oh, that's close. 58 and 59. I think he's at the company for another 3 years. Well, 2 years, because this year and then 2 years. Yeah, I think she takes over his position. She's young. It would be smart to put someone like her in charge if you're a company, right? Especially investors. Especially if she can make the furniture move, right? Make the furniture move, and they're like, this is amazing. I see her taking over his job. I don't know about the Matt Booty thing. He's a little up in age. Take over the CEO position. Maybe, though. If she moves up faster, who knows? I have to look more into detail of who else is at the studio or at the company that's been there that could get promoted into that position once she's gone. Take-Two earnings call today. I guess we'll find out over the weekend and then report it on Monday. I think we have a clip. I think El Dente made a clip of me saying Asha Sharma will take over his job. It was like 2 weeks ago. Booty's only job at Xbox is to have someone who can fall on the sword. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that on. Yeah, it'll be Monday when we talk about it. All right, let's go to Twitter real fast and let's see what's happening on Twitter. I gotta make like what's it called? An intro for like a Twitter thing. Let's see. We've got Warhammer news. We got Assassin's Creed Black Flag news. We got Game Pass stuff. Marvel Rivals scared us a bit. Overwatch boss reflects on the success of another hero shooter. Oh, well, that's good. We can talk about that tonight over on GXG. We'll talk about that. What else we got going on? First Light unlock times, global launch, early access, and release time explained. What else we got? NVIDIA. Mandalorian's going to bomb at the box office. Okay. This is, I mean, I think this says it all. The Mandalorian and Grogu review. It's time to kill off Star Wars for good. Jesus. George Lucas franchise has become a dying dog of Hollywood. At this latest sorry effort demonstrates, pull the plug, we must, as Yoda might say. That's a great endorsement, huh? Great endorsement. I almost feel, how am I going to word this? I almost feel like theater kids, right? Theater kids are, and I'm not making fun of theater kids, right? I was in fucking band, for God's sakes, all right? Theater kids take their jobs very seriously, of actors, right? They want to grow up and become actors and whatnot. And then there's the people that like sci-fi and stuff like that. And you would think that these people are really like, there's like an overlap, right? And I feel like in Hollywood, like Hollywood is the pretentious people that have made it to that point in their life, right? They like Broadway plays. They like the movie theater. Like, this is it, right? They hate that more people watch Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or all of this other stuff than what they want to do, like The Wizard of Oz or West Side Story. And, am I making sense here? Right? They want, like, the play of, like, if they do like Catcher in the Rye or something on stage or something meaningful. But we, the normal public that were maybe in theater and maybe in band and read comic books and played with toys and watched cartoons, we're more interested in good stories. And we also like sci-fi stuff. We like Star Trek and Star Wars and Doctor Who and all these other things. And those people don't like that. They want to push the stuff that they do on Broadway and what they do in real stories, as they say. Right? And I think that these people truly just want to destroy what we have. And they're like, well, how do we stop them from going to watch Marvel movies? Well, what about if we just destroy Marvel movies, right? Comic book films. Why don't we destroy the sci-fi stuff that people want, right? I just feel like when they say stuff like this, like, it's time to kill off Star Wars for good, right? Then you heard Meryl Streep a couple weeks ago when she just said the little blur because of, Devil Wears Prada 2. She was talking about how Marvel films are just so, there's a good guy, there's a bad guy, and it's just so boring type of stuff, right? That's what it comes across to me when people say stuff like that, right? Where all of this could still live together, right? You could still still watch your comic book movies and your Star Wars films, but it's like they've infiltrated the what we love. And to stop you from loving what you love, they destroy what you love to tell you that their thing is better than the thing that you liked. You know what I mean? Which is fine. I can still go watch the original Star Wars. They can't stop me from that unless they completely take them off the shelves or come to my house and rip it out of my cold, dead hands. Excuse me. Right? I just feel that that's what it comes across as. They're going to announce the earnings call that they're pushing Grand Theft Auto back to 2027. If that's the case, then the podcast that we watched the other day with the lead of Take-Two Interactive and Rockstar and Strauss Zelnick said it's coming out November 19th. If that would make him look like he doesn't know what's happening, which could be. But look, cats. Imagine in another world if George kept Star Wars stay in frame today. I don't know. Well, here's the thing that would happen. If George was still in charge of Star Wars, we wouldn't have gotten all the shows. We probably would have gotten 7, 8, and 9, and maybe one Star Wars show. Right? Because he was trying to make a Star Wars show, which we've shown on the thing, right? That it got canceled because it was just so expensive to make back in the day. So maybe his dream was to make the Star Wars show, or a Star Wars series. But for the most part, you would have just gotten the 3 movies. You wouldn't have got the solo standalone film. You wouldn't have got the Rogue One film, right? You wouldn't have gotten the Mandalorian Grogu film. That wouldn't exist. None of this stuff. The Boba Fett show wouldn't exist, right? Ahsoka season 1 and 2 wouldn't exist. Obi-Wan wouldn't. None of this would exist. It would just be the movies. And I think that would have been a better thing, because you wouldn't have been so. Let's just say the movies were okay. Let's say they were received as good as the prequels were. I think we're fine then, right? Just like, that's it. That's George Lucas's work. The clip says, if you're going to buy a controller, buy a wired GameSir controller. It also comes with a month of Game Pass for $38. Since you want to go wired anyway, it's on Amazon for that price. I'll take a look at it. Eclipse, appreciate it. Luke says, I don't think he would have tried to milk it dry like Disney. Right. I don't think they would have done that. Because think about it. They had a show, or a movie, sorry. What was it, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19. Right? They had the three movies, plus Solo, plus Andor. Or I'm sorry, Rogue One. Now, you can look back and say, well, you liked Rogue One, right? You liked Andor. But the overall picture of Star Wars is in worse shape than it was when Lucas sold it. Or before Lucas sold it. Eclipse says, don't act like the prequels did not suck. The only reason why we like it now is because the sequels were so fucking bad. I would say I agree with you. I don't like the prequels. I do like the Revenge of the Sith, right? The third one. I've said this in order. I like Empire Strikes Back, New Hope, number 3. So it goes 5, 4, 3, and then 6, 2, 1. You know what I mean? Like, the prequels are okay to me, but there's a group of people that grew up with the prequels and they like the prequels. The prequels are their 4, 5, and 6, right? For them, they don't like the original. They like the prequels, which is fine. Nobody likes 7, 8, and 9, except Dustin's probably typing in right now. He's like, I do, right? Other than that, nobody likes 7, 8, and 9. Check out Target, bro. $50 wireless. I don't know, $38 wired. Waterbear says the only show was good was Mando until they started focusing on Grogu. Mr. Z says GameSir is great. I have a Tarantula Pro. How much does that cost? See? Crazy says, actually, what I just said is wrong. There's a lot of good things that never get attention. Prequels weren't for you, Brain. They also weren't for the next group of kids. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine with them. Did I give them shit? 100%. You know, I understand that, Jesse, but it was also super expensive to make, and they didn't make it. We literally watched the trailer, whatever he did back in the day. Luke says 2, 4. So you like Clone Wars, Hope, Revenge of the Sith. You have Empire Strikes. Where's 5? You don't have 5 in there? You have 2 there twice. Wait a minute. I'm going to assume you mean 5, 4. 5, 4, 3, 1, 6, 2. I'm assuming that's what you mean. Yeah, 5, not 2. Okay. Yeah, I was like, yeah, 5, 4. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're the same. Oh, yours is 1, 6, 2. Yeah, mine's 6, 1, 2, or 2, 1. It doesn't really matter. Those are irreversible. 7, 8, 9 don't exist for me. Yeah, but the more you think about the Revenge of the Sith lightsaber battles, and then you go to episode 4, and they're like, it's like, holy shit. Like, what happened? Luke showing up in Mando killed Mando? I disagree. If they ended Mando at that point, fantastic. And then just leave it open-ended, right? Just Mando season 1, season 2, he hands off Mando. That was it. That's the whole hoopla, okay? And that was it. But no, season 3 comes back and Mando is right back with Grogu. And like, you're like, what the fuck just happened? There was a 7, 8, and 9. That's right. Him turning into the babysitter like Mando. Yeah, I was fine that he showed up. That was a nice end. But then they had to make season 3, and now this is season 4, basically. That's exactly right. Right? Mr. Z says, end with Luke. The Mando goes on with other adventures. Should have been the move. Yeah. You just assume like what happened, and then Baby Yoda goes with Luke, and Mando goes off on his own adventures, and he's now with the people he's supposed to be with. You know what I mean? That was fine. But then they fucked it up. Well, Mando was supposed to be Boba Fett originally. Then they just made a new character. Like he's not even Mandalorian. He's not even a Mandalorian. I mean, he is a Mandalorian, but he's not a true Mandalorian. So the movie should have been Luke and Grogu, Jedi Academy. No, I don't even think you needed to do that. I don't think you needed to do that. I think you just end it there, right? You end it there, and then what they should have done, you end it off handing off to Luke. Then you make if you're going to make a series, you make a Luke series, maybe 1 season, 2 seasons, and you show him and R2 going on adventures, right? Really, it's just Luke, okay? And he's not babysitting anybody. It's just Luke going on adventures, trying to find Jedi that he can bring to his academy. Do you know what I mean? Think like the A-Team, but just Luke. And he's going around and he helps people, and then he comes to a village, and there's a kid there that has the Force sensitive, and he's trying to bring him over. But while he's there, there's people attacking or whatever. And it's just the adventure of that. 789 was supposed to be with Darth Maul and Darth Talon and Luke. Eclipse says, well, they had to keep Grogu. That's one of the only reasons why people buy the merchandise. Remember, the merchandise didn't even come out until was it 8 months after the first show? Is Grogu related to Yoda? Nobody knows. Maybe Yoda is a bastard dad like Han Solo. Maybe he just left him. Maybe Yoda went out to get milk and left Baby Yoda alone. They're like, oh, sorry. He was a child for so long. Baby Yoda's 50, right? I'm sorry, Grogu is 50. From the season 1, they're like, he's 50 years old, but he's like, goo goo gaga, goo 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 gaga. It's like, what are we doing? I heard he's a clone of Yoda. I also heard Mando and Grogu is good. I'm sorry. I can't even say that with a straight face. Mr. Luke says the blue milk. That's right. Yoda went out for blue milk and left Grogu by himself. "50-year-old and doesn't even know how to fucking talk." Great. So you're telling me Yoda is one of the most... Well, it actually would make sense because Yoda speaks in riddles anyway. Maybe they don't learn how to speak for 100 years. Yoda was 800 years old. By the time he died, he was like 814 years old, something like that. Who knows? Look, Yoda went to Kamino to get the clone army, right? Maybe while he's there, he's like, hey, you want to take a little bit of me? Make a clone of myself? Maybe that's what he did. Who the fuck knows? It doesn't make sense because if he did that and Grogu's 50 years old, well, it's only 30 years from when Yoda went, like, from when the first movie started to what we saw. So it's not even in the right timeline. Right? Because Yoda saw Kamino in what, episode 2? And then Mando takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So we're talking 18, 20, that's 25 years. 30 years? Max? So it wouldn't make any sense. They just need to write the multiverse, and then he can come back. Barbara says, no, 30. We'll fix everything with the veil. Yeah. It's going to be very interesting. And I'm sure this movie does absolutely nothing to close anything off or do anything. It's just a movie, which is fine, I guess. But is it entertaining? I guess we'll find out. All right. I could sit and talk about Star Wars all day long, but we're not going to because I'm done for the day. We'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern for GXG, which is Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. If you guys like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I do appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us each and every single day. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you are. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Yo, 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 yo. To be wars, now it's open doors. Gamers everywhere, no matter the store. Multi-platform rise, let's go. Cross-play, cross-life, everybody getting hype. Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, PC in sight. No more fences, we're breaking the chains. Gamers worldwide all share the same game. Cross-play, cross-life, everybody getting hype. Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, PC in sight. No more fences, we're breaking the chains. Gamers worldwide all share the same game. Remember the times when the console wars burned? Had to pick a side, bridges never got turned. Exclusive drops kept us stuck in the fight. Now they shipping everywhere and it feeling right. Halo hit Steam, Kratos left home. Sony cross seas, now we standing on Chrome. Call of Duty don't care where you log in, whether blue, green, red, everybody's locked in. Back then, bragging like my box the best. Now it's yo, what you playing on? That's the real flex. Squads don't split, we unite for the win. Whether PC frames or a pad in your hand. Nintendo still holding Mario tight, but even rumors say Zelda might take flight. From couch to the cloud, from a disc to a stream. Gaming's for us all, that's the multiply dream. Cross-play, cross-life, everybody getting hype. Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, PC in sight. No more fences, we're breaking the chains. Gamers worldwide all share the same game. Cross-play, cross-life, everybody getting hype. Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, PC in sight. No more fences, we're breaking the chains. Gamers worldwide all share the same game. Game Pass rolling, making deals on the low. Sony dropping ports, watch the fan base grow. Even the Switch getting big boy drops. Monster Hunter, Fortnite can't make it stop. Epic and Steam, once fighting for the crown. Now it's like, yo, let the players get down. Cloud stream service, you can play on a phone. Doesn't matter where, you ain't playing alone. From Tekken to FIFA, from Destiny raids, everybody linking up, no matter the shade. Fanboys crying, but the world too loud. Gamers stand tall, multi-platform and proud. Imagine back then if they saw this day. Master Chief on PlayStation, Kratos on Game Pass Play. Sonic and Mario shook hands long ago. Now it's every IP learning how to grow. So no more division, the culture's too wide. We gaming together, controllers collide.